Welcome, everyone, to another edition of Stepping Up to the Plate. So glad you could join us. I'm your host, Michael Vega, joined here on the dais with my main man, Al Prezzuti. Al, thanks for being alongside once again. And we just wanted to talk a little bit about the unbelievable civic turnout for the Milton High Championship Football Parade here. This is one of the beautiful shirts that our friend Bill Resnick designed for the football team, and these are one of a kinds, and I was lucky enough to get one, you know. But what a great time that was! As I mentioned in a speech that I gave introducing Coach Steve Dembowski at this, it was a rolling rally parade, and then they had a nice presentation at the auditorium. Very well attended. It was a rainy day, but it didn't dampen the spirits of people in Milton who turned out by the droves to come out to the parade route to wish this this deserving group of young men and cheerleaders and band members for their accomplishment of winning the Division III Super Bowl title a couple weeks ago down at Gillette Stadium. And it was an unbelievable performance for those young men. But what I took away from it was what a wonderful place we live in here in Milton, for all these people to come out and support the endeavors of these young people. I saw people waving flags out. I was on the trolley with the coaches. Maybe you saw me, I was waving at you. But we were going by everywhere, Brook Road, Edge Hill Road, hey, props to Edge Hill Road. They turned out, man, and they were with flags and they were with signs, and people were, horns and everything. It was unbelievable. And we were driving by people and they were honking, and it was an uplifting experience on a day where you might not otherwise think there would be one. But, as I said, nothing could dampen the spirits of this town that day. And we had an opportunity, as I said, to speak. And Milton Access was there. And we have archived the ceremony and some of the parade. And you can go check it out on our YouTube channel at miltonaccesstv.org/YouTube channel. And it'll be archived there. You can check it out. But what a great time for those young men out, and what a wonderful turnout for the community. And again, congratulations, Milton State Champion Football Team. Unbelievable. I'm going to wear that with pride, Al. That'll be good. But so much to discuss here. We didn't get the chance to get caught up with the Patriots winning at the Steelers, Al. Unbelievable. Bailey Zappi now. People are asking, what took Bill Belichick so long to decide on Bailey Zappi?
Well, he had a good first half. He didn't have a great second half.
No, he didn't. No,
the defense, again, won for the Patriots. Let's be honest about it. They've given up 36 points in 4 games.
Yeah.
That's the reason why they could have won two or three of those games, if they had an offense.
You hold the Chargers to 6 points, you would think they would, but then they wind up getting shut out.
I think the key, though, the key for the Patriots was using Ezekiel Elliott.
Yeah.
And using kind of an RPO kind of way. If he goes this way, the defender has to come out, then he's got an option.
Correct.
And when he's just a blocker, it's not as effective.
No. And that's not what he came here to do.
Yeah, really. He can do both, but because he is a pretty effective
good pass
blocker.
protector. Yes, he is.
But he's also a pretty good receiver and a decent runner. Don't forget
Here's a play, Bill O'Brien, that you might want to consider: the wheel route. The wheel route to Ezekiel Elliott. Because that will work every day of the week and twice on Sundays. And let me tell you,
Hunter Henry, he made a couple of the first touchdown pass was actually too high, and he went up and got it.
He got that.
Second one was a better pass, but all things considered, what I like about Zappi is when he's looking and the no receiver gets open and he's got some room, he'll run.
What I like about Zappi, no back foot throws on that kid.
Wow.
He's stepping into his throws, Al. And he's making good decisions for the most part with the ball. And I think that sparked the offense. You could see how much fun they were having down in Pittsburgh when they got up on the Steelers 21-3. You know, it was unbelievable.
Well,
and all of a sudden now there's a spark on offense. And guess who also gets energized? The defense.
Well, the defense has been a stalwart for this team all season.
Certainly. And so now that kind of quelled, I guess, the rancor or the clamor, I should say, around whether or not Robert Kraft should fire Bill Belichick. I think that kind of died down a little bit. It enabled Bill Belichick to be himself on his college game day appearance at the Army-Navy game in Foxborough, which is an extraordinary event. Hats off to the Kraft family for their diligent pursuit of that event. Bringing it to Foxborough, I think, gave everyone in this region, New England region, an even greater appreciation for the game and for those who play in it and for those who serve, our country. And it's an opportunity for them to be celebrated on that day. Bill Belichick doing the Lee Corso route. Al, did you see that? Did you see when he broke out? He actually owns that helmet.
Yeah, I know.
The Navy helmet with the Jolly Roger on it.
Yeah.
And when he donned it and put it on, I was literally bursting out laughing. I thought, what a great thing, Now, Al, do you think if they lose to the Steelers, he's even on the set?
Yeah, I do think he would have been, because I think his legacy starts with Navy.
Yeah.
His father was there, and
his dad was
this is I think something that he would have done anyways.
And you know who I think he did it for was Lee Corso.
Yeah.
And the reason he did it for Lee Corso is because he was a coach that went back with his dad, and he looked upon Lee Corso as a bit of a mentor, But and it was very poignant when he credited Lee Corso for being a guy who kind of inspired him, along with his dad, But and what a wonderful day. Too bad for Navy that coach's prediction didn't come true. But Army, hey, we salute you, Army. Great performance by the cadets, in particular Caleb Fortner, the linebacker for the Black Knights, comes up with a strip sack that he turns into a recovery and a touchdown return that kind of put the game out of reach there, 17-3. Then he makes an unbelievable a touchdown-saving tackle with time running out in the fourth quarter and Navy knocking on the door. Now Navy's in a goal line situation. They run it. They try to do the push-tush, the brotherly shove, which has been perfected by the Eagles down in Philly. But he was involved in that, goal line stand as well. What an epic, way to end that game.
Oh, yeah, could have changed the outcome there.
And it's all that we celebrate about college football, Al. We're not talking about transfer portals. Those kids are not talking about NIL deals. They're not talking about the coaches getting millions and millions of dollars. It's become kind of a tarnished situation now, with college football and the playoff system. And we didn't really discuss this too, about Florida State getting knocked out by the College Football Playoff Committee when they, in their wisdom, infinite wisdom, decided that Florida State was not worthy of the number 4 spot in the 4-team field of the College Football Playoff, even though they lost their starting quarterback to a broken leg, even though they continued to win, and even though they finished out the season 13-0, having gotten there with a third-string quarterback who had to be thrown in there after the second-string guy got concussed. So they were saying, the committee, in all their infinite wisdom, and as you can tell through my dripping sarcasm that I didn't agree with that this team was going to be a different team. Well, yeah, it was a different team. They were a better team, I would submit, than what they were. They had to be a better team to get to the finish line. They had to be a better team in order to win the ACC championship. And yet they got penalized because their quarterback broke his leg. Wow. That to me is ridiculous.
That's sports.
Yeah. you know.
I think the Army-Navy game, though, is really the best of what you're going to see in college football, because it doesn't matter who wins. I mean, it does for the teams, meaning Navy won or Army won, but it isn't really about that. It's about the camaraderie of the service teams playing.
Yeah, the service
I mean, it
academies.
always, when I was a kid, was always in Philadelphia.
Yes.
Where the Army-Navy game was. But this is the first time, I think, that they've ever had it.
I can see this game going to like
Gillette.
Soldier Field, maybe. You know, coming back to Gillette. You know, I'm sure Yankee Stadium wants to host it.
Well, it was a fun
It's
game to watch.
it's been, I think, at MetLife Stadium.
Yeah.
You know, but predominantly East Coast. And the reason is because, you know, all these, you know, the brigade, you know, and the Corps of Cadets, you know, they bust those kids in.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're talking about Navy down in
Annapolis.
Annapolis, and you're talking of the cadets up in New York.
It was a difference
so.
of 4-hour versus a 2-hour bus ride.
I mean, so, I mean, if you look at it, Boston is a good location. Philadelphia is a good location.
New York.
Anything on the East Coast is easy for everybody to get around.
But to take it to Soldier Field to the Midwest or stuff like that, you know, that would involve plane
It's
travel.
much harder, and you know, everybody that goes to those games has been going to them for years and years and years. Some of the people are getting older. You have to take all of that into consideration.
Yeah, I mean, even both teams arrive by bus.
Yeah.
You know, they arrive by bus, and but what a spectacle! And you know, it was a great thing to see and to witness. You know, even on television. But another thing that just blew my mind, Al, was the recent signing, and pivot to baseball here, off season, of Shohei Ohtani, $700 million. Unbelievable, Al.
Stupid.
And even more astonishing was the news that came out that they were going to defer his compensation, you know, from 2034 on to 43, I believe.
Yeah.
680 million of it.
Well,
That's going to be better than the Bobby Bonilla deal he got with the Mets.
I mean, all that stuff is, you know, over everybody's head, because, you know, when you start talking millions and millions and millions and deferring, people just go, well,
Okay.
who cares? You know,
But Al,
it's a story,
but why couldn't they done
that's
that
too
here?
much. Well,
Why couldn't the Red Sox done that here?
it's a lot of money to give to anybody. You know.
The Yankees are probably saying, is that what it took? You know?
Yankees actually have done fairly well. I mean, in terms of what they're doing.
Well, yeah,
if
they
you
got-
watch it, the
well,
Red
they got Juan
Sox have
Soto.
done. I mean, we picked up this kid O'Neill, I believe. If you look at this kid, he's Hunter Renfroe. He'll hit home runs, but he strikes out like unbelievably. So his high was 2 years ago. He's had 2 bad seasons in a row. So, you know, now the Sox pick up 3 for Verdugo from the Yankees, 3 pitches.
Prospects
Prospects.
who have never pitched in the bigs.
Yeah. So I don't know what they're doing. And
They're fortifying their minor league roster, it seems like.
Well,
And then they
that's
got
what
this
Chaim
other guy.
Bloom wanted to do, and he ignored the major league team. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. I think Ohtani going from one part of California to the other. Everybody thought he was going to go to
One
either,
part of Orange
he didn't want to
County,
go to
it
New
seemed
York.
like,
The
yeah.
only place he said he definitely didn't want to play was New York.
Ooh, really?
Yeah. So.
But and then, well, now the question is Yamamoto, this pitcher that everyone seems to covet right now, Yoshihiro Yamamoto.
The Sox are hot to trot on him. Again,
What's
the thing that
price
makes
tag? What's gonna
Otani
be a
different
price
is he's a
tag?
Babe Ruth type player. He plays,
Well, he's not
he
just a-
pitches, he hits,
yes.
he can run, he's everything.
But he
know.
won't be pitching for the Dodgers
Yeah,
because of the Tommy John.
yeah. Well, we'll see.
You know, but he's
These guys come back from Tommy John just as good as they were before, and maybe even better than they were before. Because, you know, I remember when Tommy John first, they started calling it Tommy John. These guys were out for 2 years, 3 years, and never came back with the fastball that they had before.
Yeah.
Now they come back
better.
better.
Yeah, I saw that in the case of John Lackey when he was with the Red Sox.
Look
and
at
he
what's his
went out.
name, the kid for the Texas that played for the Red Sox.
Rich Hill?
No, the righty.
Who played for the Red Sox?
Plays for the Red Sox, playing for Texas now.
Oh, Nathan Eovaldi.
Eovaldi.
Yes.
He's had
Yeah.
5 operations,
Yeah.
this guy.
Yeah.
I mean, so
He's got
they've come a
unbelievable
long
speed.
way with that. You know, when you think about sports and injuries and stuff like that, like Bobby Orr only played 10 seasons in the NHL
Yeah.
because he had all of those knee injuries. Had he had that first situation and they treated it differently like they do today,
Yeah.
he would have probably been around for 15 years.
Right.
You know, but he was such a unique talent that stretched the viability of what your body can do, and that's the reason why it broke down so much, because nobody did what he did.
Yeah. Unbelievable. And I just think that, you know, there's a lot more work for Craig Breslow to do now with the, I mean, you went to the owners' meetings and watched other teams do deals, and he really didn't swing for the fences there.
No.
And then he just recently signed Cooper Criswell, the right-hander, who's kind of bounced between the minor and major leagues for several different teams, last being the Rays. $1 million deal. It's kind of a look-see deal. It's a major league contract, but you know, is that the answer? You know, I don't think so. And I think you need more creativity. You need more of what the Dodgers did, you know, in terms of swinging for the fences.
What the Sox need to do, though, is they got to solidify 1, 2, at least 1, 2, and 3. You know, the 4th and 5th on the starters. You can get you into the 6th or 7th inning, because then, you know, the relievers don't matter if you can't get them there.
Right.
You got guys pitching, you know, 3 innings and leaving, and then somebody else comes in for 3, and then somebody else comes in for 2.
You know, but on a broader perspective, Val, it seems to me that the Red Sox have never understood or never been able to cultivate and bring to bear these homegrown products, these generational talents. I'm talking about Mookie Betts. You know, you had great pitching before that. You know, John, oh my God.
Lester?
Johnny Lester, yes, thank you, senior moment. John Lester, and then now, you know, with the generational talent on the market, you know, there must have been someone say, oh no, we can't go after that guy.
Yeah.
You know, why would we want him? You know,
Well,
I just don't get why, and for them to come out and say, well, we were in on him. Please. Either you go get him or you don't. Don't be in on him.
I still maintain that what's hurt the Red Sox more than anything over the years, because I've been a fan for, oh God, I hate even saying it, 78 years, is Fenway Park.
Yeah.
Because, you know, when I was a kid, it's always been a hitter's ballpark. It's not a pitcher's ballpark.
Yeah.
But having that fence the way it was before they when they had the net up there, so you had left field. Right field's you have to hit the ball pretty good to hit it dead right. It's 380 there, and it's 420 into the corner. It's down the poles on either side is short.
Yeah.
But so is Yankee Stadium. But, you know, you don't need great pitching in Fenway Park because it's a hitter's ballpark.
Yeah.
Look at all the guys that have won batting titles with the Red Sox. Ted Williams, Wade Boggs, Pete Reynolds. I mean, you can go through the list and...
Don't you need good outfielders in order to support a pitcher in a hitter's ballpark?
I think because things have changed so much, and I mean, even the scope of the ballparks have changed now. Where you have almost like a plan. You know, every ballpark that's built today is 3 here, you know, it's
well,
standard.
they extended Camden Yards because, you know, they were giving up too many dingers there.
Well, Ted Williams, I mean, they put the bullpen in there because they needed to.
Yeah.
You know, for Ted.
Yeah.
And because he couldn't get, not too many people could hit it, you know, without the bullpen into the right field stand.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think the Red Sox need to they have to come up with an identity. What do they want to be?
Yeah.
They've never been a running team. They've never been a pitching team. But today you have to have all of it.
Yes.
To compete. And because you play a lot of your games outside of your own ballpark.
Well, in the playoffs, you know, it's small ball. You know, because the margin of error is so minuscule. But we'll just see what the Red Sox continue to do here during the offseason and hot stove league. But
I'd be interested to see what this kid O'Neill does at Fenway Park, because I watched some of the tapes of this kid. When he hits a ball, he doesn't hit a ball 320.
Yeah.
He hits it 420. The kid really can hit.
Yeah.
The problem is he's a strikeout guy, and most of the guys that the Red Sox have had, right-handed hitters, swing for the fences, swing off the heels, strike out a lot, hit a lot of home runs.
Yeah. Yeah,
I don't know.
that's the
We'll
modus
see.
operandi there.
I think it's going to be one of these things where we'll wait and see. Everybody's a little skeptical about what the Red Sox have done.
Yeah.
And because they don't seem to be doing anything really significant.
No. Well, teams that are doing anything of significance right now, the Bruins and the Celtics, both, holding their own right now. The Celtics undefeated at home.
I think the Celtics are, if you're going to say odds on of the Boston teams, the Celtics are probably odds on to win the championship.
Yeah.
I don't see the Bruins. I see many holes in the Bruins. They're not as good as their record, for one thing. They've got a couple of major problems. One, getting out of the zone. They can't do that.
Yeah.
Two, other than Charlie Coyle recently, who's been a 65% on
Face
draws.
off. Yeah.
They can't win a draw in the zone when they need it.
Right.
I think Swayman has been a little better than Olmark, although you can't listen to the guys on TV because they'll tell you both of them are terrific.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting. Patras didn't play in the third period the other night against Buffalo. Why? Because Montgomery said, I got to put the guys out that I think are going to win the game. He makes mistakes. He's 19 years old.
He turned it over in the neutral zone. That led to a turn.
And he's going to do that.
To a goal.
And same thing with Matt Laurie. And what did he say, Montgomery, on him? He needs to understand how to play the game, not skate, because he can skate. He's an offensive guy. He comes out of the zone well. But then how does he get back in position? How does he handle that type of thing?
Yeah.
He hasn't done it yet.
Right.
So they have some holes here, and they keep winning. Well, they're 5-4 over their last 9 games. That's not a great.
Who has impressed you, Al?
On the Bruins?
Yeah.
I think that you got Charlie Coyle's been their most consistent player.
Right.
I think that Pasternak is a goal scorer. There's no question about it.
Zacha?
Pavel Zacha, I've always liked Pavel Zacha. I think
too.
that was the steal of the century to get him
Last year,
from the Devils.
How about Beecher?
I think Beecher's got, again, now Beecher's new to the league, so to speak, so he makes a couple of mistakes. I think Van Riemsdyk is a terrific player in front of the net. I mean,
Yes.
He's an older guy, but he creates a lot of good scoring opportunities because he gets in front of the net, and if the guy makes a save and a rebound, he's there.
Yeah.
So
I like his game.
He's a Bruin.
Yeah.
Now, Shattenkirk started poorly. I think he's starting to play a lot better. I haven't been impressed with.
He had a nice power play goal that was, I thought, a thing of beauty because of the way they moved the puck side to side. And then they got it to him, and he was right there on the back door.
Well, that's again, Montgomery's got these guys, these defensemen, thinking offense, which is an okay thing. Don't get me wrong. I think Hampus has been. Hampus came here and started really well. And then in the playoffs, he had supposedly the injury, which nobody knows exactly what it was. But he did not have a good playoff, and he has not had a good start to the season. Yeah. McAvoy is the glue on the defense. There's no question about it. McAvoy got to be careful because he's pretty physical.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So not only can he get into scrums, if you will, guys, but he also can get hurt.
Yeah. And we saw that when he took a tough shot.
And they go after him, though.
They have been.
Yeah, so, I think Brandon Carlo has been pretty steady. I'm a Brandon Carlo fan. I know he's got some people who don't think he's that good, but he's a stay-back. He's not an offensive defenseman.
No.
And Forbert's the same way.
Yeah.
They'll move it up because that's what Montgomery wants them to do.
Yeah,
but
they
you
want to
got to
be
have
more
guys
engaged.
that are back, kind of like Adam McQuaid was.
Yeah.
who's back. Okay,
Yeah.
I think Carlo needs to be a little more physical.
Yeah.
He's 6'5", you know.
More hitting.
Yeah.
That's the other thing too. I mean, the hitting on this team has declined.
Oh, well, it hasn't been there for a long time.
Yeah.
You know, if you look at the league right now, it's a passing, skating
Hitting.
league, and
Yeah.
it's not a hitting league unless you go out west.
Right.
And when they get up against guys like they did against the Blues, when they lost the Stanley Cup here in Boston, incidentally, the Blues threw them around like they were.
Yeah.
And
Mauled
a lot
the forwards.
A lot of teams
the
can do
forwards
that
got
to them.
mauled
Yeah.
by their defensemen. You know.
That's
and,
Lucic kind of hurts them there, not having Lucic around, because he would
but
protect a lot of guys.
Luch was long in the tooth as well.
Yeah.
And you know but he did provide some net front presence. That
Well, I mean, he's the guy that's going to go after
people
guys if
yes.
they were a little too physical.
Right.
And you noticed the other night when one guy slammed McAvoy, nobody went after him. And that wouldn't have happened with Lucic and the old Bruins style where, you know, you had an enforcer, so to speak.
Next shift, that guy would have been asked to fight.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
you know, years ago they used to take, Gordie Howe used to say, I don't hit you right away, I take your number. And then when I get a shot coming back at you, and I'll get you. But,
Yeah.
you know, I think the Bruins, their record is much better than they've played.
Yeah.
And, you know, but they've had those stretches against bad teams. Like at the game against Buffalo, they weren't even there.
Yeah.
Buffalo outplayed them.
Right.
Now, I understand Buffalo had a couple of days off and all of that stuff, but, you know, they've done this a lot, the Bruins, where they're not up for the game.
Well, now they got to be up for this
coaching.
game against the Devils. You know?
Well, they got a couple of little games, stretches here. Tonight they play the Devils. Is it tonight?
It is.
Tonight they play the Devils at home.
Yeah.
And is it at home?
No, in New Jersey.
Is it Jersey?
Yeah.
I think it is Jersey.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to be an interesting game because Jersey
The
has
Celtics play the Knicks.
pretty-
The Cavs again on Friday.
Yeah.
At home.
I watched that game the other night. I like, you know, it's switching a little of the basketball. I think the Celtics are a tough team to beat because everybody can beat you.
Yeah.
Porzingis can beat you.
Holiday.
Brown. You know, the whole team. Look at White
Pritchett.
last night.
Howard, you know, Sam Hauser.
White was on fire last night. When he hits that three.
I give it up to Jaylen Brown because Jaylen Brown brought the ball into the paint.
Oh, yeah.
And he looked like he was going, and he saw White in the corner. He dished it to him and he knocked it down.
Yeah, one of the things about Jaylen Brown though is when he gets close to the basket, he puts it away.
He does.
You know, and you got Tatum. Tatum likes the outside.
Yeah.
He doesn't like to go in.
Tatum's getting more to the basket now.
Yeah,
which is
but
good.
he doesn't like it as much as he likes it outside. He's a better shooter. Now, White does something. If I was on the other team, I would go after him. Is when he shoots, he holds. He's almost like posing.
Posing, yeah.
You know.
Well, we look forward to seeing more of that, though, from the Celtics. Maybe improved play from the Bruins and from the Patriots. And
yeah, one big thing on golf, just before we tie this up, was Rahm moving over to the LIV.
yeah, that was a good shot to the PGA.
And then Fred Couples' comments about why these guys are going. It was pretty interesting. But anyway.
Well, we want to thank you. We want to thank the Milton High football team, state champions here, Milton Wildcats. Here you go, Al. We'll give them a little round of applause. And we want to thank you for joining us here, and we look forward to seeing you here next time on Stepping Up to the Plate. All right, everyone, take care.